Time lo amad Yishaim. V'derech ha'toim lo amad u'moshe leitzim lo yashav. Ki metorat Adonai chefzo u'torato yega yomam v'layla. V'yoy ke'et shatul al pal gimayim asher piryo yitain be'ito. V'alei lo yibo. Chol asher yasa yatzlich. Al kein harashoim kiyim b'motz asher tifdena ruach. Al kein lo yikumu rishon b'mishpat. V'chatayim b'adat tzadikim ki yodei Adonai derech tzadikim. Happy is the one who has not followed the counsel of the wicked, nor stood in the paths of sinners, nor sat in the company of the scornful. Rather, the one's delight is in the Torah of the Lord, meditating God's Torah day and night, and will be like a tree planted by the streams of water that yields its fruit in season, whose leaf will not wither, and whatever that one does prospers. Not so the wicked, who are like chaff that the wind drives away. Therefore the wicked shall not survive judgment, nor sinners in the assembly of the righteous. For the Lord loves the ways of the righteous, but the way of the wicked is doomed. Eshit chayil miyimtza v'rachag mi b'nim mifram. Batach v'alei b'ala v'shana lo yachzar. Gemalat titov v'lo ra kol yimei chayaham. Dosher tzemer pishtim b'taz b'chefetz kapeham. Laite kianat kaniot socher memerchak tavi lachmam. V'atakam bior laila v'titan terav leveita l'chok narotaham. Zoma b'asada v'tikochei v'fi kamper natucharim. Kamu v'nev v'yashua b'ala v'aya halala rabot manad asuchaya v'yatalit al kulana. Sheker achein v'hevel hayofi. Isha yirat Adonai hi titalal. Tenula mipri yodeha v'halaluha b'asharim ma'aseham. A gallant woman who can find? Far beyond pearls is her worth. Her husband's heartfelt trust is in her, and he lacks for nothing. She bestows good upon him and never harm all the days of her life. She seeks out wool and linen and brings her hands work willingly. She is like a merchant fleet bringing her sustenance from afar. She rises while it is yet night and gives provision to her household and direction to her maidens. She envisions a field and requires it. From the fruit of her handiwork she plants a vineyard. With vigor she girds her loins and strengthens her arms. She discerns that her enterprise is good. Her lamp does not go out by night. Her hands she stretches out to the distaff, and her palms support the spindle. She spreads her palm to the poor and extends her hands to the destitute. She fears not snow for her household, for her entire household is clothed with scarlet wool. Fine covers she made herself, linen and purple wool are her clothing. Prominent in the gates is her husband, and he sits with the elders of the land. She makes a cloak and sells it, and deals a belt to the peddler. Strength and beauty are her raiment. She cheerfully awaits the last day. Her mouth is open with wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. She oversees the ways of her household and partakes not of the bread of laziness. Her children arise and praise her. Her husband and he lauds her. Many daughters have accomplished well, but you surpass them all. Grace is false and beauty is vain. A woman in awe of God, she shall be praised. Give her the fruits of her own hand, and let her deeds praise her in the gathering places. Today we're coming for the Hakamat Matseva of Yenta Bad Yeshayahu Vechana. And the daughters would like to speak. Susie?
This week's Parsha is Kitei, and I read it through, and I first said to myself, what does this have to do with my mom? And I said, oh, rules, halacha, that's my mom, always telling me what to do. And although I think she may not have agreed with all of what was in there, I think she would have said to live by rules, live within the lines is the right thing to do. And today, just by coincidence, is also my mother-in-law's yurtzeit. And she too lives by rules and wanted all her children and her grandchildren to live by rules. And I continued reading the Parsha, and I got to the point of remembering Amalek. And both these very strong ladies would have wanted us to remember Amalek and to live with that in our minds as Jews. And then I thought, well, both of them also remembered other things. And as this year has gone by, and I've been saying Kaddish, I hear my mother and my mother-in-law, but mostly my mother. And a lot of the times I sort of dismissed her, but she was right. She was right about a lot of things. And as the months go by, she becomes more right about people, about me, and about life. And I miss her a great deal. In her memory, you're supposed to, when a loved one passes away, you're supposed to do a study, and I have decided that the best study that we can do for her, since she was all about food, was to have a Melton class, a graduate Melton class, about Shabbat and about food. And so starting in September, we are going to have this class run by Ellen Hutt, and if you're interested, please talk to Sue Gerson or to me to sign up. It's going to be a great class. We're going to do some labs, and I think my mother would love to teach you. She'll be behind you, and she'll be teaching you how to make challah. And in that vein, I invite all of you to our house to say a l'chaim to these two very strong ladies. And thank you all for coming.
Just about 9 months ago, we came to this place. On that cold and snowy day, we began our year of mourning for Mom. I couldn't imagine on that day that it was possible to feel more pain for our loss. It's possible. I think I speak for many of us when I admit that there has not been a single day since then that the pain of Mom's death has not been deep, sometimes unbearable, always acute. Yoli used to say that we would forget her. She was so wrong. Her grave is here, but she's not here. She's in my kitchen, my bedroom, my car, my classroom. Everywhere I am, there she is. She's talking, laughing, cooking, yelling, ordering me around. She's there when I look into my father's sweet face, in Daniel and Avignon's voices, in Lena, David, Rachel, and Ben, in Susie's waking and sleeping, Paul, and in the stunning beauty of their grandchildren's lives. So I ask myself, why then do I feel this loss? Why, when I look at the weeds in her garden, where her prized peppers and cucumbers and tomatoes and kohlrabi used to be, do I feel this wrenching pain in my gut? Whenever I see a new picture of Aryeh and Eli, why do I cry through my smile? When Daniel and I don't talk about certain things, why do I get the feeling of a burning lump in my throat? When Rachel bakes the famous coffee cake, why, though I celebrate her talent, do I feel so sad at the same time? When Susie or I say a simple word like God and share a private giggle, why do we stop abruptly as though we've been stricken and retreat to our private places where Mom is and where Mom isn't? Then a few weeks ago, Dad decided to sell the house, the home that he built with Yoli. He said, I was sitting in the living room and looking around, and I said to myself, no matter how long I stay here, she's not coming back. That's it exactly, I realized. I feel this pain because the loss of her on this earth is permanent. I can't change it. No one can. We are compelled to be satisfied with our memories. But thank God we have lots of them. Most of them wonderful. All of them very vivid. Mom lived every inch and fiber of her life, and we lived it with her. She made sure of that. Many times she told me, my family is